And thank you so much for joining us for a panel that is going to be amazing because it's not just us here, but it's also you there, you here. We're going to have a conversation. We invited these beautiful people to have food for thought and share it with us. But it goes, I ask questions, they ask questions, you got a question, we have a conversation. We have about 90 minutes, so that means we have 5 minutes. We're going to make the best out of this 90, that's 5 minutes. So when I ask questions, we're hoping you can find the great, short, but needed answer. If you have a question, leave the mixtape at home. Get to the question, introduce yourself. Hi, I am, and I would like to ask this to so and so. So we can make the best of the time. Sometimes I will throw reminders, but that's a good one, right? Yeah. Okay, cool. So, to start it off, a panel, Women Leading in Culture. A panel that focuses and explores female leadership and representation as a main subject. Because there are some leaders in the room, and some are already aware of, yes, I am that leader, I want to be that leader, or sometimes you're just still getting to know, okay, as a leader, what does that mean? Who am I looking for and who do I want to be? So you came here for some food for thought or whatnot, and that is absolutely also what we aim to do, to inspire and maybe even mirror a little bit that yes, you are absolutely of value as soon as you walk into that room. You are a part of that table. If there's not a table, then we're standing and we're doing it, but that doesn't mean you don't add to the room. Always know that every room you walk into, you add value to that one. Yes? Thank you. That's right. Okay, so this panel is a collaboration between these amazing platforms who also do great stuff. I think many of you already know them in some sort of way, and if not, today also you get to meet people, meet platforms, hear names of people, platforms, books that will give you some homework. And that's good, it's always good. So, Femme Fusion, round of applause. Gem de la Femme, round of applause. And Funk.IRC came together and said we want to create a space that amplifies women's voices in dances and styles, you know, started and rooted in the streets and in the clubs. And sometimes there's erasure or forgetfulness, and we're here to remind you, you know, we are always there. And it's not always behind every strong law is a strong woman. Now in front, to the side, underneath, in the middle, we're everywhere. Yeah? Cool. And through this talk, we aim to foster visibility, stronger networking, without calling it networking, but also hence the homework and the names, and that you get to find. And if there's something you forgot, find us online, ask, what was this again? And then we hope to provide. Empowering the current and next generation to step into leadership with confidence. Emphasis on dance. And of course, you know, educate, connect, and inspire. That's what we're doing today. Normally, I don't really read bios because I like to, you know, be with the people in the room and tell them, I mean, Aruna Vermeulen. Aruna Vermeulen is amazing. Very modest, I think, but at the same time, I mean, does what she does in a very dope way. Put her stamp on, I think maybe even before you realized, right? Because you started at a young age, breakdance, and doing that, you put a stamp on it. But then here, bam, you are, footprint, hip hop house, that's you, giving us that. So Aruna Vermeulen. And then I'm gonna read the bio. She's a strong believer in hip hop, B-girl, educator, mother, co-founder, and director of Hip Hop House in Rotterdam. Started breakdancing at 21 years young, while studying world history at the Erasmus University in Rotterdam. Came up in hip-hop in the 90s, guided by Rotterdam's OG B-boys of Free Zone Crew. Yeah. And a decade later, she joined the legendary Heartbreakers crew. And she found that movement to be a physical as well as philosophical and political concept. With her dedication to her craft, I love this sentence, by the way. With her dedication to her craft, her leadership grew, turning passion into purpose and battles into blueprints.
I didn't write this.
No, but this is, yeah, you didn't write this, but this is what you did. Turning battles into blueprints and giving it a home, a house, hip-hop house, literally, and making sure that people can find you and yours. So that's why it's important to meet like-minded people. So again, a round of applause for Aruna Vermeulen. Yes. We have in the middle Kim Dankoor. Listen, about Kim also, I'm doing long bios. Okay, time. But no, about Kim also, I could say a lot of this because I think Kim is a very, first and foremost, very dope person. And if you look at Kim, you know, listen, without saying a word, she loves hip hop. She knows where it is from, right? These bamboos, the hair, the lipstick. If you see Kim, Kim is always fly, but Kim is always on point, in conversation, in research. Kim has this platform, Kim by Kim. And I'm gonna say, right, the platform is in Dutch. Kim is her name, born with it, but kritische inzichten op het gebied van media. Woo! The name, it's all in the name. That is Kim by Kim. Maar ook, I mean, kennis is macht. Kim. Weet je? Ja, al die dingen. Ik heb zoveel dingen dat ik denk, ja, Kim does research on hip-hop. I mean, listen. Kim is a hip-hop researcher, PhD candidate, media expert, interviewer, started as a postdoctoral researcher at University Leiden and will focus on hip-hop feminism. Top of the iceberg. The way Kim does this amazing thing, I also wrote that down, solution journalism, which is journalism, and then not, copy-paste, but looking at the problem, coming with a solution. Where did it come from? How can we look at it, and what is the solution? Instead of, we're gonna make a report about this and then complain. Come with the solution. Kim Dankoor. Telling you, listen, I get to brag today. Okay, I needed a whole different blaadje for this one. Sarada, Sarita, aka Sasa. And I already told her just now, I believe, since the first time I met her, she's a witch, a sorcerer, in the best way possible, because that means you are earthed. You know what you have, and you know what you can share. And then if you look at the work she has done, the people she surrounds herself with, and then being rewarded within that, you have this award-winning professional dancer, choreographer, theater maker, teacher, and coach, who always walks into the room fly. I even think she's able to fly, but that's a different conversation. Studied in NYC, traveled the world, has a passion for whacking, which started as punking, posing, whacking. Fallen deeply in love with it and knew that, listen, I want to tell this story. So if I'm going to tell this story, share this story, I need to also tell where did it start, where did it come from, where is it going, and how am I a part of this? Sharing it in the most amazing way, and then last, for example, giving us a beautiful movie, Q5, winning an award for that movie, and we want to see it much, 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 much more. Q5, the quintessentials. If you don't know that, this is also something you're gonna wanna look up and find. But also, the sorceress, Sarita. Long introductions. I don't even care if you agree, because that's how I feel. Yes, and that's how the room also gets to know you. So thank you for joining us in this conversation. So we're gonna talk about leadership, but first start with you personal. Because it's there's power in words, right? So when we talk about words, female leadership, femininity, how do you feel, or the word, what does it mean to you, femininity? Who wants to start? Everybody has their own mic.
All right. So this part was requested to be short.
Yes.
Big questions. What is femininity?
Yeah.
Well, I can only speak for myself, and I see it, I feel it, I experience it as an energy. And if I were to have to describe it shortly, I would say it's an energy, it's the qualities, the values that most of society considers a shadow or a weakness. It's the strength of these qualities. So I think every quality has a strength and a weakness. So it's like double. So for instance, if we think of a strength being strong, then a weakness would be being soft, or vulnerable, or emotional. And within those qualities, there are strengths and weaknesses. And society labels certain qualities as weak, but the strength within those weaknesses, to me, is femininity.
Thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you.
And leadership.
And
right?
leadership.
Embodiment. I would say simply embodiment and the skill and awareness to have a bird's eye view.
Bird's eye
for
view.
the collective.
Yeah, definitely. So you have to have that view to be able leadership.
Yeah, zoom out and zoom in, have the quality to see different perspectives. To not only, okay, I see it from this point, I see this symbol, but you're gonna see it from that point.
Yeah,
Maybe it's the same symbol, but being able to have that 360 bird's eye, under, above, all of it.
Good, thank you, thank you. Aruna, I see you nodding, I see you. For you, femininity, leadership.
Okay, so let me start with femininity. I have quite an ambivalence to these words. Femme, feminine, I think of period products, like tampons and things. I don't know how to relate to it, so I don't know, you know. For me, I'm a female, so I drive like a woman, I fuck like a woman, I kick ass like a woman, I take people to court like a woman. So everything I do is feminine. So I don't know about soft and vulnerable. I think everybody's emotional, but the way we let it out could be different from every person. So I know men that have a lot of feminine things that society calls feminine, but they're still men. So why is it then feminine? So I really don't know. I really cannot.
I don't know, thanks. This is your perspective, which we're asking, so I love to hear that, because it's valid.
I'm also here to learn, huh?
Yeah.
You know, thank you.
We all are.
Yeah. So that's the feminine part, and then the leadership part, I think it has to do with having a vision on yourself, but also on something that's bigger than you. Taking responsibility for something also that's bigger than yourself. And I think it's also good to say what it's not, and I think it's not management. So.
I think it's not management. Putting a pin in that, taking that later. Kim!
Yes. So femininity, yeah, I interpret it differently than these two panelists, because immediately I also had to think of feminism, like what is femininity to me, what is feminism to me, and I think like femininity is such a broad spectrum, and to me like feminism as some type of bad bitchness is like embracing, accepting the broad range of femininities, and also not judging or policing women or women identifying individuals who like fall outside of that frame. So to me it's like meeting people where they are, trusting their choices, not judging them on their morals, behaviors, or clothing choices or whatever, and also realizing that the choices that you made in life maybe not be the best choices for another person. Because to me, like especially in academia, there's like a narrow sense of feminism, like, oh, feminism is A, B, and C, or X, Y, and Z. Yes, yeah. And I feel like, okay, no, but you're forgetting like a whole group of women or groups of women. And I feel like acknowledging that women are different and celebrating those differences and acknowledging the broad range of femininities is to me like bad bitchness. No.
Thank you. And leadership.
Leadership. Yeah, I'm also on the board of Hip Hop House. And Aruna can explain it way better, but I loved when she said a couple of years ago that Hip Hop House also tries to meet people where they are. And that for me is like really important in leadership. So I'm gonna pass it to Aruna because I think she can explain it better, but I really love that, like meeting people where they are. No.
Thank you. Thank you. So, to keep it engaging, thank you. also with the audience, people who are not late, don't feel like you have to wait. Please find your space. We will welcome you. Round of applause so they feel welcome that they're here. No, you're not late. We know that the public transport is public transporting today, but you still made it. So find a space for yourself, and then we continue. Because I would like to know the audience, when these words, female leadership, femininity are thrown, what comes to mind? Is there anybody who would like to react? I have a catch box. Do we know this? This is a microphone you can throw. I throw it, and then you speak into the kruisje. Yes, because if you do not speak in the kruisje, we will understand you slecht. But you speak into the cross, and then, you know. But can I hear somebody? Some reaction. Is there anybody who would like to react on leadership? Okay. I'm gonna do my first throw. Oh God. Oh yeah, the camera. Okay. Almost. Thank you. Hi, your name and your reaction.
Hi, my name is Sarada. My first reaction when I heard female leadership in culture is, why do we still have to put female in front? Is there a difference? I don't think so. That's what we, I think, sitting here in the room are aiming to, right? So that's the first thing that came in mind. Maybe it could be a question also, but I think leaders in culture is great enough.
Okay, thank you. Is there anybody else who would like to react? Not per se on her, but your own answer. When the words femininity, leadership comes to mind. Yes, mag je hem der kant op throwen? Yes. Hello, thank you. Your name, please.
I'm Linda. I love what you told about vision and about perspectives, but I also think that leaders, men or women, they have a mission. And they are realizing things in the world. And I think that is great that they are doing that.
Yes.
Yeah?
Thank you so much. Do we have any add-ons? Nobody? Once, twice? Yes, Catchbox is coming back. Je mag gooien deze kant op. Throw it back. It was my bad. Okay, so I'll try to do that during the conversations if there's something you want to add, but also at the end we'll have a Q&A so you can ask questions. But just so you know, again, this conversation is going to Good. Right. Do you when people say leadership, name a leader. I mean, do you see yourself next to this word? Leadership? A leader? Female leadership?
I definitely do not.
No?
No.
Why not?
So I was also like, okay.
Well, you're on board.
Yeah, no, you're right. Okay. Rewind. Okay.
You're leading me.
Sort.
Sure.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. You're leading.
Oops. Yeah. Okay. Maybe my first initial thought was not like, okay, me on a panel of leadership, and then of course I'm on board.
Yeah.
That kind
So
of
if you
makes
get the
sense, but-
reminder.
Yeah. Then I'm
This-
like,
Yeah. You?
Yeah, I do always felt pushed in that position just because of what I do. And that made me feel very responsible. So it did shift, like I feel it's kind of given to me.
Okay.
And then of course people around me also inspire me to, yeah, that's why I also say embodiment, because I think it's if you embody something or you love a culture and you express yourself and put yourself out and people follow you, people want to learn from you, then you kind of become that leader.
Yeah.
And in a way it's also been like, oh, sometimes I don't want it because I just want to, do my own thing. But it's also pushed me to go beyond. And I think that comes also from like the vision and the mission. And I also search for mentors. And I actually did do a creative leadership coaching program online during COVID with a coach mentor I have from New York. So when you were saying it, I'm like, okay, I did do a program for it. Yeah. And it is very much like putting me, but yeah, I do understand also like you have to name yourself like that. It's not something.
It's given by the people.
Yeah.
Or is that us being modest?
Maybe.
Aruna?
It could be both, but it could also be your own ideas around leadership that makes you not want it, or that makes you do want it.
Yeah.
Like we all want the paycheck, but we don't want the bad things. But at the end, I have experienced a lot of things that a lot of leaders have that make you also want to claim it when you can. For example, I was yesterday telling a dancer like, oh, and then I had a stalker, and then blah, blah, blah. And she's like, you had a stalker? And I'm like, oh yeah, that happened. Because some crazy guy saw me online, and then, he started stalking me. But a lot of people that are not out there will not have those experiences. So sometimes when you win an award for leadership, you think, okay, that's reparations,
Yeah.
So it's always like a balance. And if you think as a leader you have to be perfect all the time, or you have to have all the right words all the time, or you have to show up all the time, then it becomes suffocating.
A burden, a heavy thing.
Exactly. But if you stop putting other leaders on a pedestal and seeing them as humans, then maybe you can also see yourself being a leader as a human.
Yeah. So do we have a few examples of someone you see as leadership, or someone you see as, okay, this should be amplified as leadership? Except for Aruna, because she's already sitting here. You were like, yes, I'm on the board of hip-hop.
No, I think it's interesting because, again, I don't see myself as a leader, but when I think of a woman leader that I really admire, it's Lily, my PhD supervisor, so also a researcher. So I'm like, okay, maybe I should expand my definition of what leadership is, because initially I would think, okay, women were actually leading organizations and institutions, but maybe there's something about like leading in research in a way, like doing groundbreaking research, making space for other women. I remember that my supervisor told me she got a little bit harassed and bullied because she was one of the first women, or one of the first persons who combined social psychology with rap music. And during that time, people were like, ooh, why would you do that? Ooh, rap music. And she really inspired me. So in that way, she feels like a leader, and she broke down barriers. So maybe there's something about academic leadership or research leadership also, yeah.
Yeah, I would say my peers, like Lorena, Jordana, people around me, the women around me, who are really making movements, pushing things forwards, and doing it similar to how I experienced it, just because you love something, and like you love a culture, and you're part of it, and actually it's given you something.
Yeah.
And then you want to share that, and you want to create spaces and platforms, and you want to just share your knowledge, or even just dancers putting themselves out there. I think as a dancer, when you put yourself on the floor, it's a form of courage and vulnerability and things. It's like, to do that takes a lot, and I think that's also a form of leadership. That's why I say embodiment, because I think a lot of it is just doing it and showing up.
Yes.
And doing the work, and a lot of that is behind the scenes. Like I know Jordana with Funk.IRC and Femme Fusion, all of them, I know they've been working behind the scenes to create this platform. And I think those are also the people who inspire me.
Yeah. And do you feel like this should be highlighted more? Because we also now live in a time, if it's on the net, it's real, right? Or now we say, it's not real, it's AI. But how do you highlight the people behind the scenes more? Is that necessary? Because we watch a movie, not everybody stays for the subtitle, the credit. But the credit, these are the people that made it. So how do we make sure that people get the credit also?
I think that's a good question. Because we have the tendency to kind of be like, doing it out of love. Yeah. And you don't want it, you're not want to make it about you either. Because it is for others. So then you kind of have that hiding behind it. So for me, what I really love is like supporting each other, lifting each other up in whatever way you can. So like even the way you introduced us, I feel like you're highlighting us. And I try to do that in my work as well, to really, or even when I teach a class, to really be like, you can do more. You can be like, go, like really, that uplifting energy, I think is super powerful. And I think if we can spread that, that's more important to me than actually the visibility online. Because I feel like you can share, you can post, you can, like this is important, but to do that in real life, I think that, I would say that.
Do it in real life. Yes.
Well, I think if you lead from your artistry, and I strongly believe in that, that's when I said it's not management. Like your vision or your mission comes from your artistry, and if you still embody your craft, this is also how you can be visible if you want to.
Yeah.
And if you don't want to, by your choice, it's fine. But you can also be seen if other people name your name, you know, or even if you're not there, you know, and that's also very powerful.
Yeah, yeah. The rooms your names are called in when you're not there. And for you, right? You start somewhere, you fall in love with a craft, with a certain culture, and you want to share this because you meet like-minded people, you exchange, and then you grow, right? You're 21, you're dancing, you're 30, you're doing something else, all of a sudden you're on a board of something, you're like dancing, you have a crew, and then you do festivals, you get titles. Now you win something, so more people see you. You apply for a fund, it's easier because they have heard your name. You're a PhD researcher, you start as a director. So your title changes. How do you deal with that? Because, again, sometimes we as people give you that, oh, you're the leader, or we put you on the pedestal. But how does that change you and the way you still lead and interact with the community you were once eye-to-eye level? If correct, you still are, but then now we say, no, you're here.
I think it's so important that you have to believe it for yourself, because it could be a trap. People will put you in a job you're not ready for just because of agendas. So if you don't believe in it, that you can take this position or you actually want to, then don't take the title.
Yeah.
That's one truth. And another truth is also a title, you can make it your own. You don't have to believe in a title that you've seen in other places. You can be a curator in your way. You can be a director in your own way. You don't have to do it as you have seen it before. Because honestly, that's not a hip-hop mind state, to copy something that you've seen. You create it. So,
thank you.
I forgot your question, but I remember my answer, so I'm like, does the answer still make sense? I think I wanted to say, like, making sure that I help younger generations, answering their questions, help them with their research, encouraging younger students to do this thing, because I think without my supervisors, I wouldn't dare to research strip club dancers, because they were so bold. They instilled like some kind of boldness in me. So hopefully I can do that for younger students as well. Like really do what you want and stay the way you are. You know, don't try to pretend something that you're not or so. Or don't have like a view of academia that you have to act a certain way. Please
Absolutely.
be yourself, and hopefully that is the message that I kind of low-key send to younger students. Yeah.
Good. The question was, like the short version, like when your title change, what changes for you and when you leave?
Yeah, maybe more of awareness what I can do for younger generations. Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
hopefully your
Okay.
paycheck changes too when you
Yes,
get a title.
yes.
Let's not skip that.
No complaints.
I mean, I think titles do change, and I received a lot of titles that don't do anything for my paycheck. And it also sometimes creates pressure. Like in general, being the first of certain things creates pressure, like you have to do more. And I do feel a lot of responsibility, but I try to always go back to what it gave to me and also find my mentor. So like staying in that loop of like also receiving knowledge. The elders, I really believe in that circular, like the indigenous way of having elders and sharing that. So I think staying with that. More knowledge is more power, and more power is more responsibility. And how to navigate that and really stay true to your artistry, your vision, your mission, your heart, your love, because it can be very distracting. Because the higher up you get, also within dance, it's just very political. Everything just becomes more and more political, also within theater. And then within the scene, it's not like that at all in a way. Like you can win a lot of battles, but the next battle you join, you're still gonna have to do the pre-selection.
Right.
So in that sense, that is a whole different way. But within the, let's say, I'm just gonna put it on theater world, the more higher up I got, the more it's just like, oh, this is just so political. Like how do I want to navigate this? So it's an interesting journey. But I do think the titles change in a certain way, and that's also just life processing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Because sometimes if you don't watch out from the outside, you're like, I want that title. Because it could mean this. Or, it's nice, it's dope, but what comes with it could be heavy. So that also means...
Yeah, and at the same time, imposter syndrome is a thing.
Oh, yeah.
Right? Like, I'm like, oh God, the title.
Yeah, no, right. Not me, not me.
Yeah.
So, but then, okay, great bridge. Imposter syndrome. Like, you're like, nah, I mean, you could do it, but not me, because I'm not there yet. Being humble, right? We are being taught in this world, don't be too cocky, doe maar normaal, doe je al gek genoeg. That thin line, I think, being humble and self-erasure. I'll put it real flat. Because, oh yeah, she started it, I don't remember her name, but he's doing this right now. I mean, right? Where do you draw that line? Because what are you not humble about anymore? I would like to know that.
Doing the work.
Doing the work, yeah. You just, because you know. Good. Doing the work, not humble. Aruna, what are you not humble about anymore?
I'm trying to unlearn being humble because it doesn't work for me anymore.
No.
No, and not even in an entitled way, but also like being humble can also sometimes mean it can have tension with integrity. So it can mean you're hiding.
Yeah.
But you cannot hide. If you want something, you have to own it as well. So humbleness and owning it doesn't always go together. So it's definitely something I'm thinking about. What was again the question again?
The thin line between being humble and saying, no, I just do that because
Self-erasure.
And self-erasure.
I think self-erasure has also been a strategy. So for me as a woman in a male scene, when I started there were no other women. Lomro, Alida, they were in Amsterdam, and Rotterdam had maybe 3 or 4, but it's usually men. So being able to make yourself small could also mean safety. So it becomes a way to navigate and to still be present.
Yes.
And take up space when you can, but also make yourself smaller when you have to.
Yeah. So you can still strategize and get there.
or navigate and so it's something that I've grown up with, right? And I'm trying also to unlearn that. Yeah. And in certain settings, I feel it again. And certain settings, I don't. Yeah. I don't feel it right now.
Okay, good. You can rebel. For you, Kim?
Ooh, yeah, that's a hard one because at the same time, I also, and just in my context, right? Because I love people taking up space and being not humble, but sometimes in my context, I notice that some of the best researchers are humble, and I think that's cute also in a way, So I'm like, okay, like it's yeah. But how do I try to be less humble about my experiences in the United States because to me it felt like, okay, I'm just going to Atlanta, okay, it's also fun for me, but trying to realize that it really, really shaped me and I can maybe highlight that sometimes some more or at least the things that I did over there and how it, kind of increased my knowledge of the culture, also in relation to academia and how much I learned from Black professors over there. Sometimes I just need to realize that really happened and how it shaped me. Yeah.
Okay, so for context also, Kim actually used to still lives between the Netherlands and Atlanta, but since the USA is USAing and visas and stuff, Kim has been here for a year because normally you travel to the States a lot, you do your research there, studies there, and then you come here and it's an exchange. But then now it's visa shizzle.
That's right. And it's like I really don't want to be there for now. I'm good over here. Yeah.
I get it, but then you get why. But yeah, you get to just say it and be proud of that because indeed that is what also gave you the stuff you have in your backpack, the people you met.
And at the same time, I'm also curious about the future because I think because academia is also like a hard space, right? I think I should definitely try to, or at least practice with taking up more space and being maybe less humble, but just talk to me in like 5 years and see what I did in between.
Okay.
But yeah.
Okay, so beautiful audience. I would like to check with you. Earlier, somebody also in the audience, my fiance, said, right? She said, when I asked leadership, female leadership, I would like to, by raise of hands, female leadership versus leadership. Who is for the emphasis of female? Because that's where we are still at. Female leadership. Raise your hands if you're like, yeah, I don't have a problem with the female being in front.
Oh, maar dat is weer een andere stelling.
Yeah, oh, really?
It changes.
Am I changing it?
I feel so, yes.
Why?
Because you put problem in front.
Am I changing it? Okay, so how should I put it then?
Just ask the first question and that's it.
Female leadership.
Who is for that?
Who is for that?
Als titel, als titel.
As title. As a title. Instead of leadership, if it is somebody who says, yeah, female leadership, raise your hand if you are for female leadership. Okay, and now raise your hand if you are for skip the female, it is just leadership. Is there somebody who would like to react to that? Yes, please. Okay. You catch the box, you say your name, if you want to, the organization.
My name is Amy.
Hi, Amy.
And I think it depends on the context, because sometimes we want to be we want other women to know as well, right? But I don't see myself as I see myself as a leader, so case closed.
It's good. So in context, yes. Anybody else who would like to react, who said, nah, the other way. Can you throw it up? You get to like really throw it. That thing is made to throw.
Hi, I'm
Hi.
Debbie. Well, I get you saying that it's just I'm a leader, it's about leadership, but unfortunately I think society, how people view leadership, we're still not there, I think. So when people hear the word leadership, they think of men, I think in most cases. So let's own it while we can and while it's necessary. So I think we have to use the word female maybe and try to get there when it's not necessary anymore. Something like that.
Okay. Add on. I got somebody there in the back. Yeah. You throw the box. Yes. And not to say that you're right, you're wrong. It's just how do you view it? Yes.
Yeah. Hi, I'm Michelle. And I think if there were more female leadership in the world, there would be less wars. So that's why I'm not opposed to female leadership, but maybe we could find a different word instead of female. Just not the traditional leadership. Like Aruna said, it's not, the way leadership is viewed is like kind of aggressive and hard. So maybe we can find a new way and a new word that's not necessarily female, but different.
Yes, okay. Reaction. Go to the starter of this whole fire. That's good.
I would like to react on both and not stating something is right or wrong. I think that everything, how we react to stuff is because of us, right? So if you're saying that leadership sounds hard or is kind of hard, that's because that's how you see it or perceive it. Also stating what Aruna says. We decide how something is, how it looks like. Right? And also reacting on, I think we're not there yet, that's why we have to put female in front. Who decides where we are? We do, right? You do. So if I decide that I'm already there, knowing of course that the world is not there, but that's what I'm aiming for, then I want people to know how I think, hoping as a leader I can also inspire others. So I'm not putting female in front. If I want the women to attend, then I'm going to send them personal notes, I'm going to invite them personally, and this is from a place that has a little bit of experience with organizing events. The best way to get people to your events is when you invite them personally. So if I want women at my stuff, because I want to talk about female leadership, then I invite them and still use only leadership because I want to be there.
Thank you, thank you. I'm gonna do a little so tick and then here. Yeah? Can you throw it leaf over that way? Yeah.
In fact, I never thought about leadership and not about female leadership. But when I hear you talking, I realize that feminist leadership is really existing. And I think the way you three do it, and I think a lot of women, that is very special for us women, is that we want to share. We want to create a community. We want to pass knowledge. We want to inspire. So I think connecting and make things collective, and that is a great thing that women are doing.
Thank you.
And that differs from a lot of men.
Thank you. Did you still want to react? Next to you? No? Good. And over here. Did I have someone in the back?
Hello.
Hiya.
My name is Lieve. What I immediately thought to see myself as like a female leader is because I work in a male-dominated field. So oftentimes comments get thrown at me because I'm a female. And I would say that the way I am leading is more regarding also feeling and a certain introspectiveness or something. So I do see that as like a female quality. This is why I use it, but mostly because there are only men next to me leading. So it's kind of like a counteract to say, yes, I am then a female leader, but it shouldn't matter, but it does. Yeah.
Last add-on.
Last add. I want to see it more as I was trained by Typhoon from the East, and we call it liefdevol leiderschap. It's more general, but in a political sense, I also use my womenhood for the monies, because I also have a female community called Hope. So it is, doing what you want to do.
Yeah, depending on
right?
Again.
So that's what I wanted to add.
Thank you. And I have Aruna. Yes, please.
So one of the things that this conversation reminds me of is that Hip Hop House is led by 2 women. And sometimes when we talk to, let's say, a big funder or possible sponsor, we invite a man to join our conversation and to endorse us. He doesn't have to say anything. Just wear his nice shoes, a suit, and just amplify what we say. Not because we don't believe we have everything we need, but the other people are not used to putting the value on it. Because I will come like this to a money conversation. I'm not going to dress any different. But we invite a man with a suit to say, and just because we know how the world works. So it's both true that the world is not ready, but we have to start believing it.
Yes.
And on the other side, I think it's also, we also make the problem bigger by calling ourselves, we have empathy, we are caring, we build communities. Like Hassani is in our team. He does all of these things and he's very much a man. So we need also male leaders with the qualities of leadership that we believe in. And it doesn't is only women or only men that do that.
Yeah, acting as if, and I link it to what you said before, right? Certain emotional reaction, they call it, women are emotional. Men get angry, women get emotional. As if anger is an emotion. Right? So what are we talking about? And then being these things, caring, soft, whatever, because I can care hard. Does that make that a male energy? Both are there. All of them are there, actually. But viewing something because of somebody else's lens as that might be a flaw or a wrong, that is the narrative that needs to change. Because there is so much strength in tears, what I believed in for a very long time. Oh yeah, that's weakness, or you're a girl, so you're crying. Nah, bro, I'm feeling it, and that's why, and I need to express it in a way, and then we can still keep it going. Oh,
Yeah, I also want to add, because I think I also feel like the female is necessary in some type of way, like society-wise, but I also like the idea of having a different name or just new types of leadership. Because, like I said, for me, femininity is a quality. It doesn't have to mean you're female or male, like there's just qualities to these different, and I think we value certain qualities more. Why? And this is a shift that is happening and that we want to make, and this is why I feel like there's other ways of leading. And this is also what I learned through creative leadership, which is a lot about creativity and not necessarily like management or dominance or pushing or like taking up the space in a certain way. Like you can also lead in different ways. So I do really love this conversation. It's bringing up like different perspectives on leadership and that there is a need for different ways of leading. And what the names may be, you know, terminology comes later sometimes, right?
Yes. Okay, so to flip the script, because we ask questions this way, is there a question for the audience? You want to ask anybody something in a way, like maybe how do they view the future or what do they, but because sometimes you have a question to a room that reacts.
Yeah. Do you see yourself as a leader, and what would you need to see yourself as a leader?
What would you need to see yourself as a leader? Somebody who maybe is within the process or who is doubting it and would like to react.
Because a lot of times, like we miss representation, and a lot of people become representation because they miss it. So, do you miss some type of representation, and do you feel like that's something you can also fill in the gaps or embody?
Yeah, where? No? No, don't be modest. Be the leader. No. No, but...
Yeah, I saw it right.
Yeah? You want to add? Listen.
Small hand.
I'm not going to call your name Hassani, but somebody next to you. Okay, I'm going to try and... What is Eschuim? Yes, thank you. Hi, your name?
Hi, I'm Lilium. Oh my god, my voice is so hard. But I would not say exactly that I would need more representation personally. I just think courage. So that was what I wanted to say. And as she said representation, so I started thinking like, is there enough representation? I think so. But I also think that maybe women are more trying to make it digestible by adding terms as female leadership or other terms to use as female leadership. I just think courage and just being bold. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you. And that courage, do you say you need for yourself to get more courage out of what you're seeing? Or you would like to add more courage to the other?
I think both. A healthy balance of both. Yeah.
Yeah. Thank you. Anybody? Other question or... Oh, yeah. Reaction? Yes. Thank you. Your name?
My name is Miriam. And I think I wouldn't need the feeling that I actually add something and that I'm needed for other people or that they get something out of what I'm maybe trying to provide or could provide. I think that is something that I would need in order to even think about that position, basically.
Are you thinking about a certain position now?
Not necessarily like a position.
Yeah, but something you're busy with right now, maybe a project or work or...
Yeah, in that sense, I am in Utrecht. I'm trying to build some things. And it's also, every time I question myself in that process as well, like, is this my place to take up that space? And am I needed in that way? So I think I'm in that kind of process at the moment.
And is there, within that context, a question you would like to throw in the room? And maybe somebody could help you with that? Or even it being, I'm open to this in this conversation?
Yeah, and maybe somebody already has an idea or something that they might want to respond to, just what I said.
I would like to say something. I think it's sometimes dangerous to put value to what you do based on if other people are receiving it or needing it. For instance, a lot of my teachings I would get 10 years later, oh, you said something, you changed my life. But if I wouldn't have done it, that wouldn't have changed the life. So I think there's like, of course, if there's a need and you see it and you feel like called, you can fill in that spot. But in the same time, if it's something you feel like you have to do, that's something that is the like, that's why I also love the word courage, because I think a lot of what we are doing is finding the courage to put ourselves out there. And even the unlearning story was like, for me, really open up, and like that erasure, and I even hear all of us like being humble in that way, and I'm like, oh shit, yeah. Even also my mentor said like, yeah, you have to put your gas mask on yourself first before you help others. So like, I'm kind of like inspired by this conversation to be even more bold, even more courageous, and listen to your own calling. And then that is the call, like that should lead you to be doing what you do. Because I think if you question too much, is it valuable? It goes very much to that pattern of, am I valuable? Am I good enough? And I love what you said, like just stepping into the room, you add value. So that idea, and going back to courage, I think is something that should guide us more than the idea if I'm needed or valuable, because that can lead to some tricky psychological patterns of not feeling good enough, or not taking space, or feeling like make yourself small again. So
you go from the outside in instead of from the inside out.
It was also, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but it's also really interesting when I think about my experience in the media, that sometimes editors say, okay, when I call a woman identifying individual, she's really like, okay, am I enough of an expert? Can I really handle this subject? So a lot of men are just like saying, okay, I will do this. Okay, I'm not sure if I'm the right person. I will give some answers, you know? And I also notice that sometimes by myself, and sometimes I get calls by interviews, I'm like, okay, am I really the right person to do this? And then sometimes editors say, just do it, because men will be like, okay, you know, I will handle this in a few moments. So maybe my question to the audience is also like, okay, how to navigate that type of humbleness and maybe thinking that you're not the right person, while simultaneously also want to make change and do take up space.
Thank you. You want to react?
Yeah, I think I've been in this position like all the time, many times. And one thing that always helped me is to stay focused on your craft. Stay investing in your artistry, in your circle around you, and do your work. And by doing that, you're already inspiring other people by just being focused on your craft. And if you drive off a little bit, like, oh, should I do it? Your craft is always there.
Yes.
Yeah.
Focus on the craft. Is there anybody who would like? Thank you. Answered. Yeah. Yes. Your neighbor.
Yeah, we raised our hands at the same time. I'm also trying to be somewhat of a leader, although it makes me really uncomfortable to say that sentence. Because, I like the idea of leadership being mostly about the mission, and being passionate about something that you want to see happen in the world. And I guess I would like to be part of that thing. But I see severe limitations in what I'm able to do. I'm not pathologically humble. It's just that, like, I just moved here 2 years ago, for example, and there's just a lot of stuff I don't know, So in order for me to be to do things effectively, let's forget about the word leadership for a second, but to have success doing the mission, I need to really work with other people that can fill some of the gaps in knowledge and things that I have. Maybe that's why we raised our hands at the same time, because we're working together on some things. So I guess the thing I really want to insert is into the conversation is just the idea of maybe trying to de-emphasize the idea of leadership and heighten emphasis on partnership. On co-creation, on egalitarian leadership or something like that. And then we don't have to, have all the spotlight on one person in a group of, when there's like the credits keep going for 10 minutes at the end of the movie, oh my God, it's like a whole city of people that worked on this thing. So just de-emphasizing leadership. I mean, there's so many leadership workshops, and no one knows how to listen or follow or be in the audience anymore. So
make it a different ship. Partnership.
It's exactly what I was telling in the beginning. We have to think different about leadership, because if you're going to put somebody on a pedestal, it seems so far away. In everything for the future is about doing it together. So one leader cannot do anything. So it's really about shared leadership. And if you consider leadership in taking responsibility for something, it makes me really sad if you say, oh, I'm shy to take leadership, because I'm like, oh, everybody has to take on a little bit of responsibility. Otherwise, we can't do anything. So
you gotta put skin in the game.
Yeah. So leadership within this room, if we would change that word, if you think of leadership and you think of one, it should be, it's a group. It's a group of people doing something, sharing responsibility and making sure that the ship goes further.
Yeah, I want to add on to that, because that's also what I learned in the creative leadership coaching was very much from indigenous practices of like circular, and the hierarchies are natural. So it's based off of knowledge sharing. And I feel like why I really also resonate with the co-creating and that circular idea is that a lot of people want leadership for power. And the problem being like, okay, we want the power, which is the leadership position, and that's being misused. So there's like this, this idea of, okay, no, the power comes from the natural hierarchy. If you have more knowledge, you're naturally gonna be more sharing. And we all have this responsibility, like you're saying, we all have to step up to the game, but it is co-creating. It's not, so it's like we're all leaders together, and then that ship kind of rides like circular or spirally up. So I
but
really
it also
resonate
means
that.
like amplifying the voices of all those people. I think that is something that doesn't happen enough, right? Because I'm also writing something on hip-hop history, and then you learn that Grandmaster Flash actually did something with scratching, but then somebody else actually did it, and sometimes you notice that names get like screwed in the stories of, of some history. So I do feel that when you want to have like another type of leadership and you want to make sure that it's a group thing, make sure that you name then all the names of those people in those groups.
Everybody get the credit and the power, because that's where a lot of times the monopoly happens, and one person becomes the leader and just have their vision, and then it loses like the collective effort into it.
Okay, so going to the future, because we are sharing, right? And we're leadership is happening within this room because we get, it's together. Do you have maybe a great example of that? It could be yourself and your team. I don't mind that at all. This is what I saw, and that changed my perspective of, indeed, leadership is doing this together. Do you have examples of that? Do you see examples of that?
Well, somebody asked me a question that really made me rethink of how I was leading. And she asked me, who were the leaders that were leading you, and how did that change your idea of leadership?
Yeah.
And that was so helpful, because the people that you meet that are your leaders totally shape your own leadership. So
start naming.
Okay, so that person that I always think about, he's just texting me, so that's really funny. So his name is Heavy Skills. He runs a garage. He's gonna do my APK Monday. So
great.
And he's also one of my mentors in my crew, Free Zone, Turkish guy, 50-something. And he was really a community builder before we even talked about this word. He would go to people's houses, collect them in his car to go to the practice and say, we have to start breaking again because it died out, but now it's the 90s, we can do this. So he really believed in hip hop so much that even if it died out, he personally would want to bring it back.
Yeah.
So that's a mentor for me, and his leadership was also about he doesn't want it to die out. So one of the main motivations for Hip Hop House, he didn't really build this house, but he built the idea of it.
Yes.
One of them, like Paulo is another one who really built on the idea of it. And even if they didn't paint the walls, they painted the vision. So for him saying to me, hip hop can die out, I'm his student, so I'm like, okay, we have to make that happen. We have to build a house, and we have to point a flag on hip hop. So to rethink who was your leaders is going to help you think about your leadership style as well.
Great, thank you. Do we have a few names in the games or something?
I mean, if I think of my inspiration, I think of my mom right away, because she was just like a leader in being very different and niet normaal. Zal maar zeggen, doe maar normaal. And she didn't speak the language, and she came with like colorful outfits in a small town in Holland, and she really showed, like, people at the end of it, in the beginning it's like this, but they really loved her just because of her just being her. So she really had that courage of just walking around like really bold with her hats and her poncho and just like live her life, and would dance, and then everybody would come to our house, and I saw her really influence people, like they started dancing or doing yoga or becoming vegetarian. Like she would have influence on people just by being her.
Living her life, living
yeah.
it.
And people would love her, and everybody would always be happy. She would just like light up a room. And I think that's what I think, right? And then when it comes to dance, like all my teachers and mentors, they are like, for me, like all the people who, especially from our cultures and dances from street and club styles, they lived such tough lives, and they made something so powerful and beautiful out of dance and music. Because I really feel like you can take everything away from people, but like dance and music is like, it's there. And yeah, and like that alchemizing power of like also how fucked up the world may be, you just find the connection and this power, sorcery of music and dance, and that to me is just like everything. I live for that, and thanks to my teachers and living that through them and learning that through them. And we being here because of all of these. Yeah.
Thank you. Kim, you got to add on?
Yes, of course you know who I'm gonna name, right? Like Dr. Oh, also. First of all, my sister. Great catch. And secondly, Dr. Joe Morgan, of course, from the book When Chicken Had Come Home to Roost, the first hip-hop feminist, or at least the woman who actually coined the term hip-hop feminism. And she really informed also my feminism. I got a chance to interview her via Hip Hop House last year in New York. And the hip-hop feminists after that, like Johnson, Dion Stebbins, my supervisor, Jennings, Bowen, trap feminism, ratchet feminism, they all inspire me so much to be more bold. And I also think, because usually when we think about inspiration, we think about the people who come before us. But I also want to shout out my younger students, because they also make me more brave and more bold, and how they interpret certain hip-hop feminist messaging in music videos and in lyrics. So they're also like a huge inspiration. And maybe that's something that I want to convey, is that also look at like the younger generations, how they inspire and how we can learn from them, and how they also play like an important role in our development.
Definitely. Oh, thank you. Okay, so I'm gonna give it to the audience real quick. But to add on, one of my big inspirations is, sometimes you don't have to look that far, because indeed it could be your mom. My best friend, she's I think 2 years or 1 year older than me. And the thing is, not long ago I told her, thank you for also raising me, because she is a part of who I am. The way she walked, the way she talked. We were 16 and she said, oh, you want to go into this gallery? Of course. I said, yeah, but you have to ring the bell, so it's private. She said, no, burp, we're going in. And we're speaking English, just, and everywhere we go, everywhere we went, because I grew up in Almere at a certain point, and that was like white Almere, not the mixed baby Almere now. And sometimes it was very hard, but she was like, listen, we get to be wherever we want to be, right? But come as you are. She never, a day in her life, code switched it. Never. And till I heard that word code switching, I was like, shit, I'm doing it. She never did that. And she raised me. So sometimes, it's okay. You don't have to name a big name. The person next could be your neighbor that always does this certain thing. Don't forget to see those people and give them that credit, because it does something for you. So it gets to do something for them too, if you sometimes tell them and credit them for that. Okay, so about credits, because I already heard one. And then you get to ask all the questions. Homework. Is there a book, a podcast, as something you could give us, like this is something does a lot for me, had done a lot for me, that I would like to gift you. Check this out. When chicken heads come home to roost.
Yes, 1999, Joe Morgan, but I would also like to advise people to read like the last article on hip-hop feminism, what is about like sexual pleasure and WAP, Lewis, and I can maybe send you the link so that it will get spread. But that's maybe nice to read like the first book and then one of the most recent articles on hip-hop feminism.
Thank you. Sarita.
I'm thinking, I would say music, lyrics-wise, for me, growing up, like the miseducation of Lauryn Hill, forever.
Yes.
And Erykah Badu, forever. Spoken words, I love spoken word, and I think that always kind of, it's like this endless, still to this day, like even 14, I was like, what is that? And then now I listen to it, now I understand it. So there's like still hidden gems in that, like, I would say that. And I also love the research on, from Brene Brown on vulnerability. There's like a lot of research studies on vulnerability, and there's a lot of research on the power of our feelings and emotions in cohesion of our thoughts. So there's like the research around the power of emotions, feelings, and heart.
Thank you. We will collect these, right? Okay, right? Yeah, we're gonna collect these, if correct. Like backstage, we're gonna ask, can you write it down? And then so we will make sure that we can put it online. Yeah? Good.
Like Higher Learning Podcast.
Higher
Learning
Podcast. Aruna.
Well, I recently was invited to talk about pleasure activism, and they asked me to read a book called Pleasure Activism. I was like, sure, let's talk about pleasure, let's talk about joy. And then I wrote the book. I was like, ooh, that's spicy.
This is it? Okay. Yes,
and I was so naive. I asked my auntie to come to the talk, and my cousins.
I love it.
And then I had to talk about it. But it was really cool. So recently I feel so bored. So when I read it, I was not bored. And maybe if you guys are interested,
Pleasure activism.
by Adrienne Marie Brown.
Yes, that's a good one. We'll have tabs open in your head and on your laptop. All right, so, okay, so first of all, because I want to give you the room, I don't know how many time we have. We have 15 minutes. Okay, good. These 15 minutes are yours for questions, add-ons, whatnot. But first of all, thank you for this first part. And indeed, giving us those reminders that it is what you think it is, right? Give it a word, give it a name. If you say it's leadership, what do you feel it should look like? It should feel like, and who do you want to do it with, right? Because it's also an energy. So it gets to go there, and it gets to go, if you call it male, then it gets to go male. If you call it female, it gets to go female. If you call it non-binary, it's there. It's an energy, so it shifts, it moves. Watch how it moves within you. And also don't forget, you grow. So you get to grow into things, you get to grow out of things. Move with that, shift with that. But I think also important, make sure you have a tribe around you that can mirror you and have that conversation, agree, disagree, keep it going, keep it flowing, keep shaping. Have conversation, ask the room, and let the room ask you so you can add on to that stuff. Because leadership is a word. Right? Maybe we won't need words anymore. It'll be sound at a certain point. But how do we fill it in? It's up to us. But make sure that if the room is there and you want to be there, attend. Ask, sit, write, share. So, do we have questions from the audience for anybody specifically that is okay right now? Don't go ask really weird personal stuff. No pink codes, no what pleasure did you find in. But, keep it respectful. But please do introduce yourself, maybe even add what you do, and then a question for one of these amazing panelists. And the catch box is still somewhere near you, I think. I lost it. Oh, yeah. Yes, do we have a question? Question? Tell me, what's your think about? Yes. Your name, your title given or self-proclaimed, and your question.
My name is Sarada, that's my title. What is your favorite thing to teach? The question is for the three of you because you are teachers, leaders, so you can change the teaching into what is your favorite thing to share. And if that's too broad, maybe subject or what is it that you say. So I would like to know that. What is your favorite thing to teach or share?
What is your favorite thing to share, to teach? Who would like to answer?
For me, it's easy. I have one question. Why?
Why?
It's the only thing I do. Why? Why? Why now? Why this? Why that? The people I work with, they know. It's not maybe teaching, but more as a way of creating. Why?
Why? Have you always been a why person? No, you know why I asked this? Yeah. But have you always been a why person? You know who does why? Kids do why. The best.
Most of them. They make me crazy.
Yes. But it's the best.
Yes.
So, why? Why not? Why? Okay, good. Sorry. You want to answer?
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I got really hyped. I was like, yes, why?
Yeah, I have to say hip-hop feminism again. I'm sorry. I know I brought it up like a lot of times during this conversation, but it's really great to talk about hip-hop feminism in a class with people with different genders. Like, I love it when the men in my class start to dissect a Lauryn Hill, a Megan Thee Stallion, New Orleans Bounce, Big Frida. It's like a great entry point to talk about identity, gender, sexual orientation, orgasm gaps. Like, it's a great subject to teach students a bunch of stuff. Yeah.
Great.
And black feminism, most importantly, to teach them about black feminism. Like, I have students from Sweden, Portugal, different countries, and I like it when they say, okay, I'm glad for this course because at least I had to learn about black feminism, and they thought that back home I wouldn't necessarily get a course on that, so I love to teach about black feminism as well, yeah.
Thank you.
I would love to, I love to teach in general, but I love to teach self-expression, because there's something that happens when people express themselves freely. It's like something in space happens that to me just like, that's like life. So there's like a freedom in the physicality, and there, I think there would be tools of self-expression, so different, confidence is being a big one, but yeah, no, I'm just thinking out loud, because it's like, I do want it to come to that point, because sometimes I teach confidence, and if it doesn't come to that point, it can also be frustrating, but in general, I would just love to share ways how to express yourself and find freedom, and to feel that as well. But, you know, like I said, sometimes the rewards come later. So, but I love to share that journey and my love as well. Because I feel like if I share my love or something I'm passionate about, and it resonates, then something happens as well.
Definitely, if you're passionate about it, if somebody believes your passion, it'll always attract the people, because you're passionate about it. That's the sexiest thing. Right, to have a creative crush because they are doing this with so much love. I think that's amazing. That lights up a room. Do I have any questions? Yes. Do I have a catch box? Can I get it back? Yeah, here for in the front. Thank you. It's made for that. Hi, your name and what you do?
Hello. My name is Shanna. I'm head of Femme Fusion, so I helped organize this. That's why I wanted to ask a specific thing.
Round of applause for Shanna.
Because we had a lot of conversations about women in hip hop, so that's why I wanted to ask a specific thing. Because we came at some point to the conversation about leadership and maybe finding a new way of leadership. Maybe not calling it female leadership, but finding a new way. So I was wondering, what kind of qualities do you think we should emphasize or maybe, emphasize or put more value on in leadership? Because, like for example, empathy, or like for example, co-creation, or things like that. And then
for this new leadership that we're shaping right now, or we want to talk about.
Yes.
What qualities should we emphasize?
I would say embodiment. Because I would hate if a person is like, don't be stressed, and they're stressed. It's like, you're bringing this in space. Especially in the dance world, or, so embodiment, really like, practice what you preach. Like, that goes back to the artistry, your craft. Yeah, I think that's the most important. Although I'm going to think about it maybe more close.
Delusional.
Delusional.
You have to be able to envision something that's not already here.
Yes.
So you have to be a little delusional.
Thank you.
Yeah, imagination, right? Yeah. That's it.
Yes, because if somebody, you're delusional. Yes.
I would also
Yes.
add compassion, and I think that also goes to where we are learning from the new generation as well, like that also being part of, to really, I think that also goes to meeting a person where they are, instead of just having like these ideas and share them, like I want this to happen, which sometimes, like for instance, if I look as a choreographer, if I'm making a piece, I have a vision, maybe delusional, and then you're just like a little like image in that. So sometimes there's like this I experience as a dancer as well, how choreographers can talk to you or treat you. It's just like, yeah, you're just part of this vision. And then having the compassion and the connection to how to bring people into your vision, make them love it and make them really put their heart and soul into it. So I think that takes a lot of compassion. But this is a very specific leadership within choreography that I'm talking about. But yeah, I do miss a lot of compassion from as a dancer, so I think that's also what I'm learning from the new generation, and being more sensitive to people's feelings, that you cannot just be like throwing them, and at the same time you also want to give discipline. So that's we've been talking, a conversation that's been going on where I'm thinking about like, yeah, what's the new way to do that?
And I think like celebrating differences. I think that's also really important as a leader, because sometimes you also notice that people like to hire their clones. And I'm like, okay, but yeah, what kind of sense made that? So definitely as a leader, please celebrate differences.
Yeah. If you have different people in the conversation, you will have different questions, different flavors, different everythings. Also, I think, and that's a thing, maybe for everybody, or maybe, I don't know if there are people who do work with, fundings and in organizations. And as an organization, sometimes you ask somebody to collaborate or actually, do this thing with your name on it, and then we can claim it. But then it having to work, if it has to work, then it will fail because you have a certain idea, and especially if you're not informed about it has to work in this context. So if you leave the idea of this has to work and just this is going to happen, if it gets to happen, if it gets to exist, and that is enough, it'll work. But if you say this has to work, and you have a definition of how it's supposed to work, and they have, and we don't know that, it's not going to work. And that's why a lot of things get, then you don't get the fundings, or it didn't work because it had to work. So maybe that idea, letting go of it has to work like this, but it gets to exist. We're going to make it exist. I think that needs to be emphasized very much more.
And I also would add creativity, just finding more creative ways to not put this pressure on, but when you, as a leader, how do you come together, like even the warmness of like having a meeting and being like Jordana hosting food, or Lorena giving that feel, like that's a whole different way also of like work doesn't have to always be in this certain way or setting with the pressure. And I think finding creative ways of, like you were saying, even the food gives you inspiration, and you have like, there's so many ways to connect, and there's not just one way of doing things, and thinking outside of the box as well.
And I don't know if there are more questions in the room, because there was a question I was gonna ask, but where did I catch box? Oh yes. Hi, your name and your title or whatever you want to share.
I'm Lina, I'm a dancer. And I wanted to ask, because Aruna, you for example just said you question your why a lot. And I wonder if the three of you, or leaders in general, feel like you always lead with answers, or do you also lead from your intuition and later discover the why? And how does that feel, or how does that look like?
Yeah. Lead with the answer.
Do I go first? Yeah. Yes. No, for me, I think asking the questions will bring the answers, and the answers don't come from me. The questions usually come from me, and then the answers come from all sorts of sources. And as a leader in hip hop, I find my answers not in hip hop right now. I'm actually a bit bored by what I see. Maybe it's me, it's my menopause, I don't know. But I'm mostly more inspired by the things that are not made within hip hop right now, but can really unlock, like, let's say, a new movement or a new venture for us. So that's why it's really good for me to ask all these questions and look outside as well, and not only inside.
Anybody?
Sorry, I was really drifting off with what you were saying. One more time, just going back to the questions. Yes. So when I research and create, it's only questions, and even afterwards, I feel like, oh, that's how I felt. It's almost like it's like answers are given to me. When I teach, I do like to come from knowledge, like more knowing, having asked the questions to my mentors, and passing on the answers. But I, of course, leave also space for the whys. But definitely when I create it, it's all coming from intuition and not too much mental thinking, because I think that can block. What I do like to do is like come from intuition, creativity, ask questions, and then connect the dots to that. Or maybe have one theme, like very simple, like we're gonna research this, and then we'll see what comes out. But a theme that I know I could take a lifetime. Something that will forever, but it's a lot of questions. Like even the whole Q5, Q4 kind of also is a little bit based off of question marks. Yeah, because I think that's an openness when you go into curiosity. There's a certain openness that happens. Like that's why also the childlike, the why. That openness is what is so such a beautiful quality in life, to kind of keep the awes and keep the new information coming. Otherwise, it becomes like the same thing, knowing. Like question why and open your mind and the imagination. That's all that creativity, where it's gonna thrive and live, and the sorcery happens.
Get it? Do you have an add-on for us, Kim?
No, not necessarily.
Okay, good. This neat air. Do I have a last question from the audience? If it's not there, yeah?
I have an add-on.
Okay, add-on. The catch box is coming. Add on.
I also was having this question for myself, and I felt like within my leadership I had to have all the answers in order to have my vision, my future of how I'm working. I should know it all, kind of. But I realized like I need to have the voorwaarden, what's this word in English? The conditions in order to work together and how you want to be in a group, and that will then shape a collective vision of what it would be. And this helped me so much, I thought you should know it.
Thank you.
And then your little add-on.
Yes.
I also work from answers, but I try to be very honest about my positionality. So I always emphasize this is my viewpoint. I gathered this viewpoint because of X, Y, and Z, but within this subject there are also some other viewpoints, and hopefully I can have honest discussions with students or other people about the quote-unquote right answer. But I feel we also should not act that, of course, academia is academia. I cannot say it's like subjective, but still as a researcher you have a certain positionality. I'm a woman, I'm black, I'm heterosexual, I love rap music, I went to the United States, like all those things kind of make up how I view things within hip-hop. And I think being honest about my positionality helps maybe students to also gather different viewpoints and be honest about their position.
Yeah. I had a last question or add-on? Okay, last question. And did you already say your name?
No, my name is Christina, and I'm a student and a dancer. And I'm curious if you believe in an equal representation of women, men, and everything in between, and what do we need to get to an equal representation?
Do you believe it'll ever be equal? What do we need to get there? Thank you for the question. Could be.
I mean, I think it goes to perspective, like you were just like going on what you were just sharing. It's like, where are you in the country? Which world? Which scene are we talking about? Which culture? Like so many different ways to think of it.
Short answer is,
I think it's based off of your perspective, but in the end, I don't know like where it's gonna go. Like, do I think it's gonna be equal? I hope so. I hope so. Maybe there is on some type of spiritual level, there is already equality. You know what I mean? Like it depends on your perspective. And then the second question was?
No, what do we need to get there?
What do we need to get there? Yeah, I think what we need to get there is also shifting perspective and narratives. But I think history kind of goes in circles. So it's like now we're in a circle and going back, and this can go into different layers on this. So I'm just gonna keep it to that.
It's a different panel.
I think we need you to get there, like your generation to get there. And it's our practice every day at Hip Hop House to create more balance. And we do it first with ourselves and our own organization. And we hope that the spin-off of everybody that comes to our doors and leaves will affect like more than Rotterdam, more than the country. But I do think that it takes a long time to get some sort of balance. And yeah, we're gonna need you.
Thank you. So, to wrap it up, first and foremost, again, thank you. Thank you for all the questions. Thank you for sharing the energy, the space. Thank you for accepting the homework you got and hopefully adding to it, right? Maybe you'll have a question back, maybe you'll share it in some sort of way, but I do think that, again, you chose to be here today and have this exchange, and that will have somewhere, right? It's food for thought. So something is planted or something is removed, something is added. But also here, thank you for accepting, okay, we invited you with the title leadership, but thank you for sharing, okay, but for me it means this, today. It could be something something else tomorrow, but for me today, this is what I want to share. And thank you for doing it the way you do it. So freaking amazingly, ask yourself. So as a Kim, in all your, the research you do, how you do it, how you share it, being this fly, thank you so much, Kim Dankoor. Right? And then Aruna, coming all the way from Rotterdam, with the love, with the life, with the tribe, having these words and bringing them sometimes so calmly, but there's such a cool confidence in it, even when you say, I gotta learn some stuff. Thank you for being honest in that, always. And your honesty built this beautiful house. And the cool thing about this beautiful house is that it's still being built. It's there, but it's still being built because you always leave space for the next generation. You invite them. And we always get food in your house. And that is so important. I will never not say it. You always get food. I cannot go to an event, pay only €5 and get food. Yes, you can. Hip Hop House. Aruna Vermeulen. And then, of course, the sorceress. The sorceress. Thank you so much for even when you talk, being, I need the hand, right? But also sharing, and again, the people you surround yourself with, you highlight, you having an idea. COVID coming in and said, this is not going to stop me. You know what? We're not going to do a tour. We're going to film it. And that film being rewarded as it should. You having this humbleness, but also the confidence. And again, being sure that the tribe is there, you are there, you're sharing, coming as yourself, powerful in heart and softness, magic. Sarada. Thank you so much. Then about myself. No, thank you. Thank you all again. Thank you for sharing. Again, Jennifer, Femme Fusion, round of applause. Jam de la Femme. Speaking of Jam de la Femme, the new date for the next event is the 18th of April. So those of you who do not know yet, now you know, put it in your agenda, share it, spread it. Find us online. Here also, before you leave the room, we have Post-its. If there's something you would like to share, write it down and put it as a letter on the wall. And the next Femme Fusion Jam? December 11th. Makkelijk te onthouden. 1-1 together, 11, je weet zelf, December 11th, Femme Fusion, the next event. Funk.IRC, thank you also. Like this, the three, y'all coming together and doing this for us, thank you. Y'all coming together and doing this for us, thank you. Y'all staying for the rest of the event today, thank you. My name is Jennifer Muntslag, dankjewel, tot ziens.